Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer for the Medicine Diary. We are absolutely thrilled to have you with us today. If you or a loved one are taking medication to manage hypertension, you probably do exactly what your doctor told you to do. You wake up, you pour your morning coffee or tea, and you swallow your pill. It's this incredibly faithful daily routine for literally millions of people. But today, we're going to explore some highly critical yet often unspoken clinical data that reveals why your prescription is really only half the story. The other half? Well, that's all about timing, interactions, and your body's own biology. Now, take a look at this question. Are you taking your blood pressure medication at the absolute most dangerous time? It's kind of a shocking thought, isn't it? Like, could the daily routine you rely on actually be working against your medication? Could you be leaving your cardiovascular system completely unprotected right when it's at its most vulnerable? Well, we are going to systematically decode the biological science behind your prescriptions so you can turn a good routine into truly effective protection.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Today we'll be covering the daily pill routine, the morning surge, the great timing debate, dangerous drug interactions, the diuretic danger zone, and finally, what to bring up at your next doctor's visit.
Section 1. The daily pill routine, a convention from way back in 1955.
Let's start here. For decades, the instructions on almost every blood pressure prescription were incredibly simple. Take once daily in the morning. But modern cardiology actually tells a much more nuanced story. Here are the core insights we've pulled from recent clinical data. First up, timing heavily impacts how well your drug works. Second, your blood pressure is definitely not a flat line. It follows a strict biological clock. Third, everyday foods and drinks can cause massive hidden interactions. Fourth, taking a water pill at night creates severe fall risks. And fifth, above all else, consistency and adherence are what matter most.
Moving on to Section 2, the morning surge, a very vulnerable window. To really understand why timing matters, we have to look at the biology of your cardiovascular system. Think of sleep like your body powering down for maintenance. In healthy adults, blood pressure naturally drops by about 10 to 20%. We call this nocturnal dipping. It's basically a nightly vacation that your heart, brain, and kidneys desperately need to rest. But here's the catch. As we age and our blood vessels lose elasticity, up to half of all seniors actually lose this dip. They become what cardiologists call non-dippers. So their blood pressure stays relentlessly high all night long, silently hammering their organs while that morning pill they took is steadily wearing off. And then comes the real danger. Right between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., your body triggers this massive release of stress hormones just to wake you up. Blood vessels clamp down, your heart pumps harder, and your blood actually gets a little stickier. This is known as the morning surge, and medical journals reveal a frankly terrifying statistic. 49% of all strokes and 40% of all heart attacks happen during this exact window. Think about it. If you took your pill at 8 a.m. the day before, by 5 a.m. the next morning, that medication is literally at its weakest point, exactly when the storm inside your body is at its strongest.
Which brings us to Section 3, the great timing debate, morning versus night.
This realization that we're most vulnerable in the early morning sparked one of the absolute biggest debates in modern cardiology. Should you be taking your pills at night instead to build up a wall against that morning surge? Well, this brilliantly illustrates how science evolves. A few years ago, this massive study in Spain called the Hygia chronotherapy trial tracked over 19,000 patients, and they found that taking blood pressure medication at bedtime resulted in a staggering 45% lower risk of cardiovascular death compared to morning dosing. I mean, it sounded like a total medical revolution. But then came the massive time trial from the UK and a 2024 European meta-analysis looking at over 46,000 patients, and they found completely different results. They concluded there's actually no significant difference in major cardiovascular events, whether you take it in the morning or at night.
So what does this all mean? What's the real truth here? Well, we look to independent experts like the Cleveland Clinic for the bottom line. What's absolutely accurate is that evening dosing is totally safe. It doesn't increase your risk of problems. But what often gets lost in the hype is that adherence is king. Taking your pill consistently, at whatever time guarantees you won't forget it, is way more important than stressing over the clock. If you happen to be a non-dipper, sure, evening dosing might be amazing for you. But for most of us, the best time is simply the time you actually remember to swallow the pill.
All right, on to Section 4, dangerous drug interactions, the hidden dangers. Now, let's shift our focus from the clock to your kitchen counter. What's truly fascinating here is how powerfully everyday items can completely alter your biology.
Let's look at coffee first. If you're on a beta blocker like metoprolol, your medication works by calming the nervous system. It's basically pressing the brake on your heart rate. But your morning caffeine? That presses the gas pedal. Taking them at the same time creates this biological conflict that can actually trigger irregular heartbeats. So you definitely want to space your coffee out, at least 45 minutes away from your beta blocker. And then there's grapefruit juice. Grapefruit contains these compounds that disable a specific enzyme in your gut. Think of this enzyme like a security checkpoint for calcium channel blockers, like amlodipine. When that checkpoint gets disabled, up to 5 times the intended amount of the drug can just flood your bloodstream. And get this, the effect lasts for up to 72 hours. So a single glass of grapefruit juice on a Tuesday could cause a really dangerous fainting spell on a Thursday. Wild, right?
Okay, Section 5, the diuretic danger zone, nighttime fall risks.
This brings us to another kind of danger, and it's one that really hides in plain sight. Diuretics, which you probably know as water pills, are fantastic for lowering blood pressure. They help your kidneys flush out excess fluid. But when patients take them in the late afternoon or evening, all that fluid extraction happens right in the middle of the night. You wake up at 2 a.m., it's dark, you're groggy, your blood pressure is physically lower, and you're rushing to the bathroom. This exact scenario is the leading cause of nighttime falls in older adults. And the statistics here are genuinely sobering. A hip fracture in an adult over 70 carries a 1-year mortality rate of 20 to 30%. That means taking a water pill at 6 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. isn't just an annoyance that ruins your sleep, it's a highly preventable risk that can have fatal consequences.
Finally, Section 6, your next doctor visit. Let's take some action. We've covered a lot of science today, but knowledge is really only power if you use it. So let's establish a strict, science-backed protocol for missed doses. It happens to all of us, right? You realize at dinner, oh my gosh, I completely missed my morning pill. Your gut instinct is probably to take 2 just to make up for it. Actually, scratch that. Never do this. In older adults, especially those with stiffened arteries, a double dose can cause a sudden, steep drop in blood pressure, leading to severe fainting or insufficient blood flow to the brain. So here is the rule. Step 1, if you remember soon after your normal time, go ahead and take it. Step 2, if you are more than halfway to your next dose, just skip it entirely. Step 3, when in doubt, absolutely call your pharmacist.
So, the crucial point we want you to walk away with is that you are an active participant in your healthcare. Here are 3 incredibly empowering, actionable takeaways for your next clinic visit. Number 1, ask your doctor if your specific medication is actually safe and beneficial to take at bedtime. Number 2, always take your diuretics before 10 a.m. to protect your sleep and keep you safe from nighttime falls. And number 3, if you're dealing with mysterious morning headaches or fatigue, ask for a 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitor. It's basically just a cuff you wear at home that finally shows your doctor exactly what your heart is doing at 4 a.m. while you're fast asleep. The conversation that protects your heart definitely shouldn't end when you leave the clinic. We really want to know, what specific question are you going to bring to your doctor at your next appointment based on what you learned today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love reading them. And hey, if this explainer brought you some clarity and value, please subscribe to our channel. For more premium, science-backed healthcare awareness, make sure to visit themedicinediary.com. Thank you so much for learning with us today, and please take care of your heart.